Alright lads, so tomorrow morning we are going to be getting the new 1000 Year Blood War rerun banner, and this time it's actually 1000 Year Blood War round 14, the Inheritance Summon. In this case featuring Rukia and also Ichigo. As always, since it is a rerun banner, first step of this banner will be free, so of course, definitely do that. So of course, everyone watching this video should be doing that free step. Now if you did watch my video from last week, we did talk about the possibility of 1000 Year Blood War round 15 returning, and that's definitely still a possibility. However, considering that we're getting this banner right now, I feel like maybe late December, I feel like maybe early December is when we should expect the 1000 Year Blood War Yama, Aizen, and also Yuha return. But regardless of it being next month or this month, it's coming back soon, so you might want to save some mods for it. In addition to that, strangely enough, this particular banner is actually lasting quite a while. It's going to be here from tomorrow morning, the 8th of November, and it's lasting all the way till the 3rd of December. So it's kind of rare for a banner to last this long, especially a rerun banner, and that brings the question, what is actually end of month going to be? However, the great thing about this, at least for those that are itching to summon, you could actually wait for the mid-month announcement and also end of month announcement before deciding to summon on a banner like this. So for those that have patience to wait, I actually recommend waiting to see what end of month is going to be, because you have the opportunity to pull for mid-month, pull for end of month, and then decide to go in on this banner. Now the banner this time around does feature a decent selection of characters. Of course, round 14 Ichigo and Rukia being the main reasons why you might want to summon on this banner. Alongside that, you also have Basbi, Drugrum, Uryu, Yuha, Rukia, Renji, and also Ichigo. So quickly breaking down the characters in case you aren't aware of what these characters do bring into the game. For starters, Daddy Ichigo, still a very powerful character. The only really bad thing about him to a certain extent, nowadays at the very least, is that he doesn't inflict status augments. But at the very least, if you are someone that maybe wants to use him in Inheritance Trials, or just in general content, he is always going to provide your team with a boost, increasing their attack, focus, and defense by 33%. Alongside having a very good strong attack kit, some great skills too to back it up, 60% Berserker with the boost, Marauder extra flash steps, read Soripa dodges, and also having two killers, that being Soripa and Captain. This character is still a character that I even use to this day. He's my main go-to boost in the Captain Weaker Guild Quest and also the Soripa Weaker Guild Quest, and overall he's just a very solid character even nowadays, almost being 2 years old, which is the crazy part. At the same time, you can bring him to Arena and he's going to perform just fine. After that, we have round 14 Rukia, a power Soripa Captain with the Aranka and Espada kill ability. The very unique thing about this character, as there are only 2 characters that game right now to have this, her and also the Fierce Battle Renji, is that she does have the Bankai button. It's an extra mechanic in the game where you do press that, you are going to transform into your Bankai state for 20 seconds, and for the first 10 seconds while in that transform state, you are going to have a 10-second disabler, which basically increases the chance of you inflicting status augments by an extra 10% per hit. It's actually a very powerful skill, and it also increases the damage output that she does have. And given the fact that she is a 60% Berserker and also more damage to throws than enemies, she's a very strong character even, again, 2 years later. And since she does have that increased chance of inflicting status augment, at least when you are in that transform state, it does actually allow her to be very good in something like Inheritance Trials and again also Guild Quests. Just like round 14 Ichigo, she's still a great character to use and also a really fun fan service character. I'd say she's the most enjoyable Rukia in the entire game. Not only is it Rukia in the Captain outfit, it's also her using her Bankai, and it's just super fun to play around with. Basbi is a Quincy Sternritter with the Aranka kill ability, good strong attack kit, very similar to Rukia's actually. Unfortunately, not that high of a damage output, only having Frenzy +1 and 20% Berserker, but he does have a good set of strong attacks and also, most importantly, has an increased chance of inflicting status augments against power attribute Arankas. So if you use him in the content you want to use him in against power attribute Arankas, he's not actually that bad. But at least just compared to some of the newer characters, he is lacking a bit on the DPS factor. Drugrum is a power Quincy Sternritter with the Squad 0 kill ability. Now he is a brave battle character, as he does come with skills such as Flurry +1, 20% Bruiser, built-in damage reduction, Poise, brave battle counter, Pierce Barrier, and also Brave Battle Temporary Invincibility. So for the first 10 seconds in a Brave Battle match, he will be taking no damage unless he is damaged by someone that has ignored Brave Battle Invincibility. And as we've seen with the Brave Battle meta, there are quite a few characters with that. Having said that though, I feel like this character has actually gotten better over time, as the old meta when he first came out is that every character that released after him would kind of counter him and make him less relevant. But since we're starting to see more balanced characters come out to a certain extent, someone like Chad for example, a great Brave Battle character, better than this Drugrum, but since he doesn't go for invincibility, Drugrum is a character that you technically can use to defeat him. At the same time, you have characters like Oko and Kuroshiki running around, and Drugrum having attribute advantage against them actually allows him to be used in this meta. I do want to clarify though, you do want to have more dupes than the character you're going against in that sense, since Kuroshiki has a very high damage output, but he is still someone that can be used in Brave Battles, and that's the most important part. I still use someone like Arskin, for example, in my Brave Battle team, and he performs just fine. You just got to make sure to know what character he's good against, and don't put him against someone that you know you're going to lose to. So in this case, Drugum, I would only recommend putting him against someone like Kurashiki and also Oko. And there are plenty of those running around in Brave Battle right now. Oryu is next, a Quinty Stun Ritter with the Sorry Kill ability. He has a somewhat average damage output, only having Frenzy +1 and also 40% Berserker. Luckily does come with Guard Break and also has the unique effect to a certain extent when he does have Element Reversal. So when you do inflict a status element onto this character, he's going to reflect it back. It's a nice gimmick and he was the first character to introduce it, but unfortunately he hasn't held up the best here. His strong attack and strong attack damage isn't anything super amazing, and the Element Reversal isn't really enough to carry this character. He's just somewhat of an okay character nowadays. Yuha is next, a no affiliation character with the Captain Kill ability. Yuha has always been a very weird character, since he was designed to be a Brave Battle character to counter someone like 1000 Year Blood War Retsu, but he was never given Frenzy and or Flurry. He does have a trans mechanic, and I do like the visual to this character, but realistically speaking, you can't really use him anywhere. You can still use him in Brave Battles to be a store character, but that kind of requires you to have him at max dupes. At the same time, you can use him for the Captain Guild Quest week if you have him max transcended, as he can nuke that particular week, but it also requires you to have some good side characters. So the only way I can see you actually using this character is if you have him max dupe and invest in quite a bit, which just really isn't worth the effort. He is eventually going to get a resurrection, potentially in like 6 months time, so maybe that'll make him somewhat decent, but as of right now, he's basically unusable. Rukia, a speed Soripa character with the Aranka kill ability. Keep in mind, this character almost came out 5 years ago, so she's not really that good anymore. Damage output is basically non-existent, only having Frenzy +1 and a 20% Berserker. Doesn't have Havoc, doesn't really have the best of strong attacks, so she's more so just a collector's item. But just like Yuha, she will eventually get her resurrection sometime next year, and that might make her a tad bit better. Renji is a power Soripa with the Aranka kill ability. Decent character overall, nothing too special. Again, damage output, just like the Rukia, isn't anything super high, only having Frenzy +1 in this case. Does have some decent strong attacks, lacking some status elements however, but you could use him if you do invest into him quite a bit. Let's say you get him max transcended. That's the only time you would really actually use this particular character over some of the newer characters, but he has some fun gameplay, so maybe if you are a Renji fan, this might be a character you want to pick up. But in terms of those that only really care about meta and what's really powerful, this Renji really isn't anymore. And the same can be said for 1000 Year Blood War Ichigo, a technique Soripa with the Espada kill ability. Again, damage output, not really that high, only having Flurry +1 and a 20% bruiser. Lacking on a lot of skills here, and the only time I could see myself even using this character was for the ranged Espada Rika guild quest, where you can get a usage out of him, and again, resurrecting might make him better, but as of right now, he's nothing that impressive. Looking at the actual banner though, what you will see is that again, the first step is free. That's the great thing about this particular banner. Everyone should be doing that, and if you do get a new character, you're walking away with a free character and also free extra orbs. The great thing about this particular step is that it still has normal rate. It's not lowered because it's free. So that first step that is going to be free is going to have a 4.5% featured pull rate and a 1.5% unfeatured pull rate. And the rate will stay the same every single step after that. Step 6, 11, 16, 21 will be discounted at 150 orbs. Step 2, 7, 12, 17, and 22 will be discounted at 200 orbs. So if you are someone that does want to do that extra step and try and test your luck even more, it's not really the worst thing to do, as it's only going to cost you 200 orbs for 20 summons. There's a decent chance you might get something new there. And then as always, every 5th step, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, is going to be a guaranteed 5-star character, a featured 5-star character, so including one of these 9 characters. So overall, pretty nice to see round 14 Ichigo and Rukia return so soon. The banner itself is again somewhat decent. Round 3 characters, Rukia, Renji, and Ichigo, are more so investments for the most part, hoping they do get a good resurrection. Yuha, again, not really usable, and same goes for most of these characters. Like, they're just okay. That's the main thing about 1000 Year Blood War characters. Most of them are usable for the most part, but nothing special anymore. Besides round 14, I'd say. Round 14 still holds up. Ichigo and Rukia are still some of the best characters in the attribute, and characters that I still see myself using quite a bit. In Ichigo's case, I mainly use him as guild quests in 4 types of guild quests. In Rukia's case, I use her in 2 guild quests. In Rukia's case, I use it in 2 types of guild quests, and I also do use it in inheritance trials when there are Aranka enemies. But other than that, the banner itself is pretty decent for the most part. Again, if you really want to summon, go for it, but I recommend most people do the first step, maybe do the second, and maybe just wait. Again, that's the thing about 1000 Year Blood banners, right? These characters are eventually going to be featured in newer banners, and I'd rather go for round 40 Ichigo and Rukia as a filler than a main banner like this. But that's just personally me. I have the patience to wait. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.